You are watching B-Boy 45, the hospital's own TV and radio station, right here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. It is a very special Thursday, and I think I've got my friend Maya on the line. Maya, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Can you please help me understand why today is a special Thursday?
Because Thomas Middleditch is calling in.
Yeah! Thomas Middleditch calling in to Maya's latest news. Welcome, Thomas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome, man. All right, Maya, you take it away, my friend. What do you got for Thomas?
Okay, so my first question for you is who or what inspired you to start acting?
Who or what inspired me to start acting? You know what? I have to give a lot of credit to my 8th grade drama teacher, Mr. Ken Wilson, who at that time I had a creativity in me, but I was a bit of a loner. Maybe some other kids didn't necessarily think I was all that cool, to put it mildly. And this Mr. Wilson, I guess, saw something, and he put me in a play, and he actually put an improv group together. So I've been fortunate enough to be doing improv since 8th grade. And then just got involved in community theater, and then it kind of focused my weirdness, as it were. It like gave it a home as opposed to just everywhere. So yeah, Mr. Wilson was a big influence in my life.
Oh, cool. So you have a Netflix improv special with Ben Schwartz called Middleditch and Schwartz, which came out in April. What is your favorite thing about improv?
Ooh, my favorite thing about improv. I mean, I think it's a particular way of performing comedy that is very spontaneous. It involves characters and scene work and kind of like acting in a way. But if you're with the right people that can kind of like latch on to how you think, you can really go in some strange ways and some very bizarre paths on improv. I mean, in those specials, there's like a ghost priest who marries 2 people. There's a little alien in a closet. And it's just like whatever we're coming up with in the moment, that ends up being the reality that the show has to deal with. And that freedom, I think, for me is just the most special thing about improv.
Cool. So do you have a favorite comedian?
Myself, Maya. I'm the greatest comedian ever. No. Do I have a favorite comedian? There's so many ones that I think I've been fortunate enough to work with people that I have always thought was so funny. Like Kumail Nanjiani, he's on the show. He was on the show Silicon Valley. I've always thought he is one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I got to work with him for years and years. An interesting part about this business, the entertainment business, is often you get to meet the people that influenced you when you were younger. So for me, when I grew up in Canada, the funniest thing in the world in Canada was this sketch comedy show called Kids in the Hall. They did, weird characters and, just sketches. Very absurd, silly stuff. And I've been very fortunate enough just through, coming out to LA and doing all this stuff to meet them. Like a couple of them have seen my show, which is crazy. And they come up to me and go, "That was really funny." And I go, "Well, I hope you liked it because you basically made this. Like you're responsible for it." So yeah, Kids in the Hall, Kumail, all kinds of folk. Yeah, there's a lot of good comedy out there.
Cool. Yeah. So you're an actor, comedian, and screenwriter. Where do you find inspiration for all of these roles?
I think for everything that an artist puts out, kind of regardless of the medium, if it's writing or acting or comedy or anything, you're using elements of your own life to sort of to filter things through, you know. It's hard to just sort of invent everything from nothing. You always pull from your own experiences. That's why I think the deepest artists are the people who have really taken in a lot of life, as it were, a lot of like experience, and have really kind of ingested a lot. And that doesn't mean that they have to have traveled the world or anything. Like I guess it means like how open is your door, you know what I mean, to taking it all in. So with all those things, I'm basically cherry picking like little moments of my own personal experiences, and maybe squeezing them a bit to fit the particular role or scene or whatever I'm doing. But I'm drawing on my own memories, basically.
So is there one that you find the most challenging?
Like something I've done that was really challenging?
No, just like whether it's, I mean, yeah, there's not really like a particular thing.
Or do you mean like acting versus like writing and that? Do you mean that way?
Yeah.
Oh, writing, 100%. Writing is the hardest thing in the world. It can sometimes come out real easy, and you're like, you've written pages on pages on pages of this script, and you sat down and you walk away like, that was easy. What is everybody, worried about? It just came out. Just pour it out of me. Chances are those days when you had a real good, outpouring of script, or maybe if you're writing a book or something, you'll reread it the next day and be like, oh no. And then you have to go back, edit it, make it better. It's just a constant process of, laying it all out first and going back and reworking it. It's almost like it's the math of creativity. I never liked math. I was always bad at it. But writing is basically, if you wanted to make creativity basically math, that's what writing is. So.
I have never liked math either. So I was so excited at the end of this year when I was talking to my counselor at school for next year, and she was like, you don't have to take a math class next year. And I like jumped up and I was so excited.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
I mean, I'm always envious of the people that can do math, because it's always so, I don't know, it seems so smart to do if you're like expert at math, that you just chop down equations willy-nilly in your mind. No need for a calculator. I'm always like, wow, God, how impressive. I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah. So you've been in so many cool things, including the Brass Teapot, Someone Mary Berry, The Final Girls, which I love, The Wolf of Wall Street, and then two of my favorite movies, Tag and Zombieland Double Tap. Have you had a favorite project or character you've played?
Yeah, I mean, there's some ones that stick out. It was really fun. The Zombieland sort of, I guess it's a cameo. It's a small role. That was really fun because it was a big action scene, chasing Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg around a house for a few days as we shot. That was just fun. There's a movie called Joshi, very small independent movie. We shot it for almost no money. The script was about like 13 pages long. Normally they're over 100 pages for a movie, but it was just sort of outlines of what we wanted to have happen in the scenes. And then the dialogue and everything was improvised. And so I don't know, to me, that's always been a one that I hold dear, because it's very honest and sweet and funny, but also kind of sad at the end. I'm really proud of that one, Joshi.
Oh, cool. So you played Richard Hendricks in the show Silicon Valley, and you were nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for.
You're darn tootin', Maya. Nominated, didn't win, but nominated.
And that show is so funny. Could you relate to Richard in any way?
Yeah, here and there, he and I are sort of like our brainwaves crossed at times. Sometimes when he wouldn't be able to let anything go because he thought it was right or wrong or whatever, and he had to correct it at all costs, even at the detriment to himself. Sometimes I've been known to do that, where you can't let anything go, and you're like, they have to know that what they did was wrong, and like I just can't drop it. But I think he's kind of, when I talk, when I talk about all these, when you kind of create maybe roles or when you write stuff down that you take things from your life, he's kind of this may come as a shock to you, Maya, but I used to and still do play a tremendous amount of video games. You have to understand. And when I was a wee young lad, about the ripe age of 15 or 16, I would go to and host LAN parties. I don't think kids do this anymore, but you would essentially bring your computers over and like connect them physically, because we didn't have high speed internet in those days, Maya. And we in order to get like really like quick multiplayer gaming, we'd like connect them all up and like stay there in someone's basement for 48 hours, not sleeping and just eating ramen. And that world, that type of person that was willing to come be in a basement for 2 days, there's a lot of those guys that are in Richard. It's just like there's no one specific person, but it's just like it's those experiences that kind of helped hopefully make Richard a fully realized character, an Emmy nominated realized character.
Did you have a favorite episode to film?
A favorite episode. I'm trying to think. It's like I'm having to look back over 7 years, and if there was one thing that really stuck out, boy, I'm not sure if this is the most favorite, but it's definitely the most recent. Was the last episode, like the last night of shooting, just because it felt like such an accomplishment to have done. That was the first time I've ever been on a big TV show that lasted a long time, that people watched, and it was such a special experience that when we said goodbye to it, it felt like, like we all had a big hug back when we could hug and just shared the moment. It was just a sense of accomplishment. It felt really good.
Oh, cool. So you're going to be in the upcoming Phineas and Ferb movie, and I love Phineas and Ferb. What are the biggest challenges of voicing an animated character?
I would say, the challenges really are of a more technical nature. So for Phineas and Ferb, or for a lot of like the Disney or the younger animation, you really have to like be giving a lot of energy. You might have to do a crazy voice, and so you may be like almost yelling in a crazy voice for 2-3 hours or something, which sounds easy, but then afterwards, I promise you, you're just sort of like, oh God, I feel like I was like screaming for 3 hours. What's going on? You just have a moment of like, that was a lot. But it's so fun. In animation, you get to, most of the time, you say the words into the mic before they animate it. So most of the time, you sit there and you read the script, and then they're like, play with it, do something else. And you say something else, and whatever's funny and works, that's what they animate to. So there's actually a lot of freedom to just like, explore the character or try and make things funny or weird or just totally insane. It's a really fun experience. It's basically just you in a soundproof room with a mic, and people are on the other side of glass telling you what to do, speaking through their own little microphone you hear in their headphones. It's like you have your own private room of being crazy. It's great.
Cool. So you have quite a few upcoming projects, including Be Positive, Solar Opposites, and the Trial of the Chicago 7. Can you tell us anything about them and when they might be released?
Sure. Well, Solar Opposites, the first season just got released on Hulu. So if there are any Rick and Morty fans that are watching right now, one of the co-creators, Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty, has his own show called Solar Opposites, and you'll recognize my voice in there. So that's out on Hulu. I'm not sure who's responsible for the press release, but I am not in that Chicago trial. I would love to be, but I'm not in it. So that's come up, but I'm that's fake news. #fake news. And then the Be Positive is a CBS sitcom that like where you do the scenes in front of a live audience, which, well, I guess when we start up maybe in September, we won't have a live audience, so that could be awkward as we pause for jokes and there's nothing. But I've never really done one of those before, so it could be interesting. We'll see. It'll be a whole new experience. So that'll be on CBS, probably on a Thursday night or a Friday night or whenever they have their big nights of sitcoms.
Cool. So if you could have anyone narrate your life, who would it be?
Ben Schwartz. At least he'd make it funny.
Yeah. So what makes you roll your eyes every time you hear it?
What an interesting question. What makes me roll my eyes? It almost sounds like a riddle. It sounds like you're the Sphinx and you're letting me into the temple. What makes you roll your eyes every time you hear it? I've got to come up with the answer. Let me see. Well, I won't get political. I'll just say, I don't know if this makes me roll my eyes. Maybe it makes me wince if I hear, I've got no arguments with the taste of bananas, but when it gets mushy and someone's eating like a mushed out banana, ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody likes that sound.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, it's not the best sound in the world.
Yeah.
Although it's pretty cute if you give it I don't know if you've ever seen, I think I saw a video where a little turtle is being fed a chunk of banana and it's just sort of smacking away. That's cute. But when a human does that, I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a line from a movie or a book that's had a big impact on you?
A line from it. Oh, this is, I don't, when you have to go through the filing cabinet and try and pick a good one. I don't know if this is the best one, but there's a war movie called Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks, Academy Award winner, Tom Hanks. And it's at the end and it's not looking good for him. And he gets Matt Damon to lean in and he just goes, "Earn this." Oh, every time I'm crying. So much sacrifice in the movie, those brave boys.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, I've never seen that, but I've never seen it, but there's
a lot of shooting, a lot of pew pew.
Okay. I'll admit I don't love war movies, so
Okay, that's fine. I guess you and I are in big disagreement then. Okay.
no, I'm sorry.
I guess you're looking forward to what, the Powerpuff Girls movie or something?
No.
Do you like anime at all? Are you into anime? Are you a big Naruto?
Sorry, what?
Do you like Last Airbender or Naruto, or maybe they're two different things or the same thing? I'm losing credit as we speak. I know it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Sorry, the only one I watch is Phineas and Ferb. So
Understood.
So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Let's see. I think, I've always been sort of brought up to be like, my hometown in Canada is a bit of a hippie town, so I was raised around a lot of people very open and sharing, and there's no filters. Everybody just shares what they think and feel. And sometimes I wish that I could have been able to employ a little bit more censorship. So I think those are those things where every year in your life, you learn lessons, you get a little bit better at being a human being. And that's one thing that I work on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my mom and I were talking last night. I was talking to a friend. We were talking about our favorite musicals. And I told them that Spring Awakening is my favorite. And then my mom and I were talking about that. And she was like, I don't understand, like, what drew you to that. And I was telling her one of the reasons is because it's like so controversial, and it's been censored in so many places. And I don't know, my mom was like, that's my girl, because that's exactly what she would like about it.
Yeah.
So
my favorite musical, I think it's not even a particularly good musical. I just like the movie version of it a lot, is Newsies with Christian Bale singing away. Christian Bale, Batman, sings away in Newsies. Love it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I had to watch it. I had to watch Newsies last year for history, which was a fun thing to do for history. So
I'll say,
yeah,
sweet class.
Yeah. If you could be any fictional character, who would you be and why?
Oh my goodness. If I could be any fictional character, well, now I'm just trying to think of like I don't know, Superman, because he can do anything. But he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, living alone at the Fortress of Solitude, just cruising Reddit, so Superman. Let's see. What's potentially a more interesting choice? I was liked as a kid. I was like the big sort of muscle man of the 1980s and 90s, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, because I was so like, I was like a little toothpick kid, and these were these big tough guys that didn't take no crud. So I don't know. I guess a fictional character is, I was going to say Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's totally real. So maybe one of his characters, I don't know, the Terminator. Yeah.
So if you could have any song playing to announce your entrance into a room, what song would it be?
What's that song? It's like the Benny Hill theme, or not the Benny Hill theme. It's like it's like a really fast paced, like insane song. That'd be great entrance music. Complete, not triumphant at all, just walking around, but yeah.
So, what terrible movie do you secretly love?
Ooh, my favorite movie of all time, Maya, is a movie called The Blood of Heroes. Now, hear me out, okay? Rutger Hauer, Joan Chen. You got Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, these are people I'm sure you're very familiar with. But the writer of Blade Runner, this is his directorial debut. It's the future. It's a bit Mad Max. The world has gone downhill, and the people in the future play this sport called jugging. What do you have to do when you jug? You take a dog skull and you put it on the stake at the end of the field, and you whip each other and hurt each other to get there. And it's this ragtag group from the border towns, and they've got to go to the city to compete against the professional teams. It's basically a post-apocalyptic sports movie, and it's fantastic. The Blood of Heroes.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Yeah, that's going to be right up your alley. It's basically Phineas and Ferb.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it totally sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
I built my Jugginator. That was a really bad Doofenshmirtz, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I have, I printed out, like, my project during quarantine has been just decorating my closet door, just printing out so many pictures and just hanging them up. And I put, some of my favorite movies up there that I wouldn't consider them terrible, but I don't think they're definitely not the most popular movies.
What's one? What's the most controversial?
Oh, Ishtar.
I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up.
Okay, so when it first came out, so my mom and her parents went to see it, and she'd always tell us about it, and so we finally watched it a while ago. But she was saying how she and our grandparents were like the only three people actually in the theater laughing. Like they were the only people who loved the movie. And then she showed it to me and my sister, and we loved it. And so I don't think it's a terrible movie, but it was listed as one of the worst movies in the world. So
you have exquisite taste.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't listen to reviews. We're always like, they hated it, so we're gonna love it.
Okay, there you go. Keep an open mind. Nice.
Yeah. So when you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better?
What do I do to make myself feel better? Well, this may sound like a lame answer, but it actually genuinely works. Is a bit of exercise will always help, because gets the blood moving, some endorphins in your brain get released. You start to feel, even though maybe 5 minutes in, you're like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do it. I just want to play video games. If you keep pushing past that, just get the heart pumping a little bit, whatever's possible, I guess, because I know some of that might be limited. But that always helps me, to be honest. And it sounds like a trick. It sounds like, haha, that's it. I'm like, yeah, that does help.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. I know there are sometimes like I'll be in like a bad mood and my mom's just like, let's go for a walk. And so we'll just go for a walk and I feel so much better.
You know what I used to do? I was shooting a movie in Atlanta. Godzilla, the Godzilla King of the Monsters. I was shooting there in Atlanta and I was there for about 2 months. And it was fun and all, but I was by myself a lot. You know, the work's done. I go to this apartment that they rented for me and I'm by myself. And it was easy for me to kind of get a little down in the dumps. And what I ended up doing was I put my headphones in and I would create this little playlist of music that really made me feel good. That was like upbeat, kind of fun, funky music. And I would just dance. I danced like crazy. If someone had opened the door and just seen one guy silently, because it was in my headphones too, one guy just dancing, like literally running around the apartment, just having a ball, I think it would have been like, oh, this man's gone insane. I'll call the authorities. But I think at that point, that's what had to happen. And it genuinely improved my mood. So, hey, 10 minutes of dancing, that also helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Who do I consider to be a real life superhero and why? You know, there's a lot of stuff to kind of be worried about in the world, you know, when you like pull back and you go, oh my God, we got COVID and, you know, like racial tensions and all kinds of crazy big picture stuff. And one of the things that really kind of keeps me I guess a little bit worried is, you know, climate change. And so anyone who's really doing their part, I suppose, and advocating for a greener planet, I always think is really special. And there's, I guess in the celebrity world, maybe I thought Leonardo DiCaprio, what he did, he had this huge star celebrity status and he's really channeled it into something that is moving the needle in that way. I've been fortunate enough to meet people in actual Silicon Valley who are making all kinds of like inventions and developments to, you know, they'll tackle the food industry or the energy industry or something like that just to help us maybe live here a little longer. So I always think that's a big thing. And I maybe don't have like the one person that does that, but basically, if you're in that field, you're all right with me, kid.
Cool. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. We've all got to do our part, but, you know, bit by bit, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that was my last question. So.
Oh, thank God. You were grilling me that whole time. I feel like I just got done with an interrogation, Maya. I got to call my lawyer.
Oh, fine. What I need is like a lamp and, you know, those glasses and a lamp.
Yeah. And then you need a partner pacing in the background. Like he's the bad cop and you're the good cop. So you just give you the nice questions. And then if I don't answer him, he chimes in.
Yeah. I'll go get my sister.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Thomas, thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a great day. I hope everyone there watching has a great day as well.
Thanks. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.